Shutdown polls spell trouble for Trump and GOP. The government shutdown is only days old, but polls already show who voters hold responsible. According to the Washington Post, on October 1st, 47%. I'm sorry, that would be just October 1st. So the poll was a little bit dated. 47% of Americans blame Trump and Republicans, compared to just 30% who blame Democrats. Now, these are fluid, these can change. Among independents, the margin is even starker. 50% blame Republicans, only 22% blame Democrats. A Morning Consult survey found similar results. 45% would blame Republicans in Congress, 32% Democrats. A Marist poll found 38% blaming Republicans, 27% Democrats. Across multiple polls, the GOP consistently shoulders more blame. On the economy, let's look at other polling data. On the economy, the picture is just as bleak. A late September Pew Research survey reported that 53% of Americans believe Trump has made economic conditions worse. That was supposed to be his big calling card. I'm the big successful businessman. I'll get rid of inflation day one. But it's not looking good in the polls regarding how people perceive Trump's impact on the economy. Only 24% say it's better now. But here's the paradox. And before people say, oh, TJ, it sounds like you're in the tank one side. Let's hear the other side. Despite all this, Trump's overall approval rating remains steady. Gallup-style averages place him around 43% approval, 54% disapproval, almost exactly where he's been, not for the last day, the last week, the last month. This is where he's been pretty much for the last decade. Nothing really seems to change the thermometer as far as where this guy is in polling data. And among Republicans, loyalty is ironclad. 9 out of 10 still back him. Okay, so what's the real message here? Right now, voters think Republicans are more at fault for this government shutdown. But is this really going to hurt Trump? We've seen scandal after scandal after scandal after outrage, and still his overall poll ratings seem stuck at about 43%. He doesn't really ever go up or down. It's one of life's great mysteries. Let's dig into this a little bit deeper. So the Democrats have been quite strategic in this government shutdown. They are not saying we want to shut down the government because we don't like Trump's illegal, unconstitutional use of tariffs, which he could do. They're not saying we're shutting down the government because we don't approve of his unconstitutional attempt at firing members of the Federal Reserve. They're not saying we're shutting down the government because Trump is blatantly ignoring the constitutional provisions that say the Congress allocates spending and the president is supposed to administer it, and he's not doing that. He's just not spending money on things he doesn't like. They're not saying that. They're saying there are 7 million Americans who will lose their health care if they agree to his terms, and they don't want 7 million Americans losing their health care, seeing their health care double. Now, what the Republicans have done, and so far it hasn't worked, but it may end up working, is Trump has said this, Speaker of the House has said this, other Republican senators have done this. They have said Democrats are not opening the government because they're upset that Trump doesn't want to give illegal aliens free health care. They're saying it once, twice, 3 times. They're saying it from the different branches of government. Say this what you will about Republicans. They are amazingly disciplined on marketing and messaging. They're saying it again and again and again. I have to give credit to the so-called mainstream media and really any media outlet other than extreme right-wing hack organizations. They have done a good job of fact-checking Trump and Speaker Johnson and others when they spread this lie. And it is in fact a lie. There is in fact no legal means or attempt to legally give illegal aliens free health care. There's no provision in the government that's pushed by a Democrat or anyone else that would do that. It's a lie, though, and it's a lie that is convincing to some people. I've seen people leave comments on my own videos on this subject. I believe it was on TikTok, asking, true or false, TJ, isn't it true that the Democrats want to give billions of dollars for free health care to illegal aliens? Well, it's not true. The problem is, from a communication standpoint, is if you say a lie, and it's a big enough lie, and you just say it with a straight face, and you say it again and again and again, and you repeat it, you are going to convince some people. And over time, you may convince a significant portion of the public, no matter how many times you're fact checked. And it's horrible for democracy. It's horrible ethically. But I have to tell you, it does work sometimes. And nobody's better at that than the great orange one himself. Let's look at some more of the polling data. Again, this was an October 1st. That was the first day of this shutdown. 47% blamed Trump, only 30% blamed the Democrats. Here's the thing, everyone, before we get too excited about this, is voters can punish and be upset with the party for shutting down the government, but quite often, the very next election, they've forgotten about it. And our next election is more than a year away. So I don't know that regardless of what party gets the biggest blame for this shutdown, if it's going to have any meaningful impact on the composition of the Congress after the next election. Independents, those who self-identify as independents in these polls, break 50 to 22 against Republicans on the shutdown blame. Morning Consult, as I mentioned, 45% blame the GOP, 32% Democrats. Marist, NPR, and PBS, 38% blame the Republicans, only 27% blame the Democrats. Pew Research says that 53% say Trump has worsened the economy. Only 24% say improved. So this is what is perplexing certainly a lot of Democrats and centrists and those on the right who are not fans of Trump, which is, it's one thing to say, okay, he's the big businessman and he ran on the platform of Biden created the worst economy ever, supposedly, and Trump day one would eliminate inflation, the economy would grow faster than ever. Those things are not happening. It's true. Stock market's hit an all-time high. The stock market benefits, frankly, people like me. Most Americans don't really benefit from the stock market. They don't have any skin in the game, but they do get harmed by inflation. Inflation is creeping up. Tariffs are really taxes that are passed on to consumers. And so people are realizing that Trump is making the economy is worse. But here's my theory as to what has happened. And this is not original theory on my part. We have reached an age of negative partisanship that is so intense that for many, many voters in America, their attitude is, it doesn't matter how many things you tell me about how awful the guy is I voted, because the guy I voted for hates the people I hate really well. He's good at hating them. He's good at attacking them. And I hate those people so much. I don't care if my guy destroys the whole world. I'm going to continue supporting him because I hate the other team so much. And the theory is, it's called negative partisanship. And that's why it doesn't really matter. It does. Certainly, we're seeing this with Republicans who say they believe in things like free trade. Well, now we got a communist in the White House socializing everything from Intel to U.S. Steel. It doesn't matter people who say they believe in freedom of speech when we've got a guy shutting down freedom of speech. We have a guy who's basically thumbing his nose at conservative Republican principles and policies that have been extraordinarily popular for 40 years. And they're saying again and again and again, okay, I don't like this, but I still support him. I don't like this, I still support him. The economy's in decline, I still support him. I mean, let's not forget, by the time Trump had ended his first term, he had lost more jobs than any president since Herbert Hoover, and virtually all the Republicans who voted for him last time still voted for him. It just doesn't matter. The old catchphrase from the movie Animal House is more relevant than it just doesn't matter. They're going to support him no matter what. So I don't think Democrats should be excited about this polling data, because the whole point of polls going up and down is that voters can change their mind. And someone who voted for the other guy last time might vote for your team this time. That's why you're trying to come up with new policies and new messages and new campaigns and new candidates. This is different. I mean, we've really never seen a president have popularity ratings start off so low, but also never go lower, no matter how many things he does poorly. You know, a lot of people forget that George Herbert Walker Bush had astronomically high poll ratings. I mean, I think they were in the 90s at one point, but they went down as the economy seemed to be getting worse and Bill Clinton emerged. And you had like a 50-point change in polling data. It seems like we never see more than 2 points change in Trump's polling data. And it is, in some sense, remarkable. And it is, in fact, why I don't think Democrats should get too excited about predicting that they're going to somehow win the public opinion debate on the government shutdown. They may have some slight plurality, but I personally see Trump and the modern GOP party better at messaging. They're much better at saying, we're 100% good for this reason. The other people are 100% bad for this reason, and really sticking to it. The Democratic messaging machine is typically more muted, more muddled, and that makes it less effective. Talk about clarity. I mean, Trump just this week posted things on social media saying Democrats are the party of Satan.